right, welcome back. Season 2, the KD pod, talking NBA with Mike Gal. We're back. Post-retirement. We're going to get this thing started. Just a little prefix. Probably get a lot of different podcasts going on this channel. I got stuff in the works with Mikey, of course, with other co-hosts, and then other topics that I'm interested in with other guests. So without further ado, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the NBA, as always, and we're a couple weeks in, and Mike and I are going to talk about our three biggest overreactions from the start of the NBA season. So I'm going to say mine, and then we're going to go back and forth, see, is it an overreaction? Is it realistic? So my first one is Evan Mobley on the Cleveland Cavaliers is the next Anthony Davis. And you could easily sub out Anthony Davis for Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. I'm not gonna say Hakeem Olajuwon, but it's a couple weeks in. Mike, is that an overreaction? What are we talking here?
Definitely an overreaction. See, like I don't know if people watched our draft analytic, but I did mention that Evan Mobley is my favorite prospect this year because SoCal guy, and then I feel like he got so much potential. But the thing is, I watched a couple of his games, right? And I just feel like his offense is a lot less polished than I thought it was. It's I feel like you have to play with a great point guard to be really effective on offense. And I feel like he's not there yet. I just gotta watch a couple more games. I know he's a great defender, rim protector, can do a little bit of everything. He's really mobile. But Anthony Davis is a different breed. So I need to watch more. And then, yeah.
So you need more time.
He can be with a lot of improvement. I don't know if you noticed it, but I just feel like his shot is different. His shot looks really bad. And then his lower body strength is.
Could Anthony Davis hit a three in his rookie year? Could Kevin Garnett ever hit a three? Could Tim Duncan ever hit a three?
Yeah, but the mentality's different, bro.
I get it. Mentality, personality, that you can separate with Kevin Garnett. I understand that. So here's my case. You said he needs a good point guard.
Yeah.
So does every big to ever play the NBA. They need someone who can get him the ball, right? Someone who can come off a pick and roll and hit him in the hands. So first, I'll say, I think Cleveland has some good guards. Darius Garland is a good passer. Colin Sexton is a good enough scorer to draw defenses. And he can, he's not a stupid player. But nonetheless, I watched him play the Lakers in LA. And this guy had 23 points, 12-something rebounds. And man, all he was doing was catching lobs, hitting these little short jump shots, and then hitting a spot up three. And he's 2 weeks out of college, 2 weeks into his NBA season, a year removed from high school. He has the length, the IQ, and the mobility to be that type of small ball center who can move over to the four because he can shoot, with the IQ to not foul and stay on the court. That can just, man, it's game changing for any NBA team. You see it with Giannis playing the five when the Bucks won the championship. When he went to the five, they were dominant. Ayton, his ability to move on the perimeter and defend is a huge skill. Rudy Gobert can't do that. A lot of the other bigs can't do that. So I don't think it's an overreaction, honestly. Some of these ones I have, they might be, but let's hear your first one.
All right. So my first, like, this is actually like not my personally like overreaction, but kind of from the NBA like fan base that I've been seeing for the past couple weeks is people are saying Cade is a bust after 3 games. And then so little stats for you, Kyle. So he played 3 games so far. First game he got 2 points, 1 of 8 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3. Second game, 6 points, 0 for 9 from 3. Third game, pretty not an efficient game, but 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists, 1 for 7 from 3. And the 1 3 he made was from the logo. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a huge overreaction. You know, he's hurt. He needs to get a rhythm. Did he even? I don't even think he played that much in the preseason. Like, he doesn't have a rhythm. Their team is terrible, just terrible. Like, they have some good pieces, but I don't know if they're the best. They're the best fits for him. Like Killian Hayes, as much as he gets laughed at because of Kevin O'Connor from the Ringer, he's not a good fit with Cade because they're both kind of pick and roll guards who want to create for others, and neither one of them want to be off the ball. Yeah, man, let him. That's an overreaction. Let it. Give it time. Give it time.
I agree with you, man. 100%.
And with those stats, I would say, how are the rebounding numbers? How are the assist numbers? Like, did you see if he was playing defense? Not going to put you on the spot, see if you watch your games, but you know, I feel like he has the ability to impact the game without scoring as much. You know.
Yeah.
So we'll go to my second one. My second one, I think is a little strong, but it is both the Nets and the Lakers will miss the conference finals. What do you think?
Like, I agree with part of it. You know me, right? I'm from LA, and then I'm a Clippers fan, and you know how I feel about the Lakers. Like, when that trade happened, it was like Kuzma, Pope, and Harrell for Westbrook. I was like, Lakers, I don't know, man. Like,
yep.
I don't know. Like, I don't like their roster.
Mm-hmm.
The roster, like, for me, is horrible. Like, I know, like, Laker fans, when they see this, they go, yeah, like my friends and stuff, they're gonna strongly disagree. Oh, we have LeBron, but people's got to realize LeBron's aging. He's what, 30, 37, 38 years old, and we saw that last year in the playoffs. The guy, like, he don't have the same. He'll have it for like 2 quarters.
He can't do it by himself. That's what the playoffs last year told us. But this isn't a LeBron. This isn't an anti-LeBron thing. I'm telling you, this is not because of LeBron. Like, no, he is like the best small ball 4 in the NBA right now. Honestly,
but he do it by himself, and it's tough from the West. And then you got AD that's, like, you know, injury prone, and Westbrook. You know how I feel about Westbrook. Inefficient, bad shots. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get from him. Like, every game, you know, a lot of turnovers. Not a great shooter, so it's like in the playoffs, like, team's gonna pick on that. And then you got like the good teams like Jazz, the Warriors. Like,
yeah. So let's go into that.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, if they're not making it, who's making it? So let's talk it out. In the West, assuming the Lakers are healthy, and honestly, the Nets, it's a little different. No one knows what Kyrie's doing. This is assuming Kyrie's not really going to be there. The West, we have the Jazz, who have shooting and are a year in, have continuity and a chip on their shoulder, kind of like what the Bucks were in the past couple years, where they finished really high in the regular season and then they kind of just hit a wall in the playoffs. Like they were, they were a quarter away from going to a game 7 with the Clippers at home, where they probably would have won. And then
Terrence.
Rudy Go, yeah, like sure, it exposed Rudy Gobert not being able to guard on the perimeter, but he, it took Terrence Mann hitting like 6 threes, so that was extraordinary. But other teams are the Nuggets, who I'm really high on. 2 teams that have players coming back, maybe even 3. The Nuggets, who will have Jamal Murray coming back. They haven't been as crisp as you might want them to start the year, but I think Porter is going to get out of that slump. Aaron Gordon is a elite defender and rebounder and lob threat pick and roll partner with Jokic at the worst. And then with Jamal coming back, like, they're going to only improve. And then the Warriors are playing really well. They have a lot of talent. And then if they get Klay Thompson back, holy crap. So it's like, okay, we got those 3 teams in the conference finals. Then you look at your Clippers.
It's
no,
been tough.
Another team with someone who with a player that could come back though.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be in rhythm. That's the thing. He's probably going to miss the entire regular season. So I'm not even sure if we're going to make it to the postseason.
He's such a robot. Like I feel like he could be fine though.
No, he can be fine, but I don't know about his team and like how he feel about coming back. So that's the main problem. Paul George is good and all, but like a roster right now, there's no offense. So we'll see about that. But like that's the team you mentioned. Like, yeah.
Really and then the other team would be the Suns, who haven't looked that good. Kind of look a little repetitive from last year. I like the JaVale McGee pickup. I like the Landry Shamet pickup. I think that adds depth to their bench, which they needed. So that's a little tougher.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep this question going. And on the East is deep. You have the Heat, who look great, besides last night against the Celtics. Jeez Louise, was that weird. The Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixers have a really good record right now, and who knows what happens. And then the Bucks and the Bulls, like that's 5 teams that are playing better than the Nets, have way more depth, have more overall talent, not top end, but James Harden looks fat. And with these foul rules that, we're going to you're going to talk about, he looks exposed. He looks shook. Like, what else can he do? I mean, he's such an amazing player. Without the foul rules, he's like, I've been playing this way for 10 years. What do I do? So it's a little strong take, but Nets, Lakers missing the conference finals.
Oh, I got one more. Yeah. I got one more about the Kyrie Irving situation. I've been actually looking this up. I think New York, like the mayor, are like actually looking in to like lift the ban. So like there's a possibility that can actually come back. But that's not known. But the Nets still have a pretty good team, I feel like. Pretty deep team. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that segues into your second one, which is what?
So as we can see, like so far this season, a lot of stars are struggling. And because of the rules change, like how like Trae Young, James Harden, all these players are like, they play based on those fouls. It's like players cannot be like getting into them because they're afraid that they're going to pick up a foul. So that's why they have so much space. They have so much opportunity to like put up the shots they could have like made or they could have took. But this season is different because you see like players leaning in, like playing their own ways. Like the refs are not calling it. And I feel like the refs are doing a great job this season for not calling it. And the overreaction will be like, would they continue their struggle throughout the season? Like your boy Jason Tatum too. Like, are they gonna keep struggling?
It's such a long season. I think that's an overreaction, and I'll say why. Why it's an overreaction is because I think they're gonna slowly wean off these rules. You're like, why would they do that? There's the people are liking the product. I think it's gonna happen because games are going by fast. I heard on a separate podcast that there was a Memphis Grizzlies game that was over in 2 hours. Like that's unheard of for an NBA game. It's usually 2.5 minimum. And like, why is that important? Shorter games mean less commercials, mean less fans in the stands getting food at the games, getting beers, getting this, getting that, less money. That's what it means, less money. So they're going to be like, oh, maybe throwing a couple more free throws here and there. And then James, he gets his 5, 6, 7, 8 free throws a game. And then he gets in a rhythm. He starts playing better. I think it'll slowly go away. And then maybe in the playoffs, they bring it back to a more stricter way. That's my opinion. Yeah.
I didn't I didn't see that perspective come. It's like the revenue. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we went to that Celtics game. It feels like it ended like really quick because
Right.
not a lot of free throws. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was exciting. Personally, I love it. I love the product.
yeah.
I think it makes more back and forth. I hate the ticky-tack foul calls. And my favorite thing is, like, I was watching Suns Rockets last night, and Eric Gordon pump faked a 3, leaned in and shot another 3, trying to get hit. And he's like crying, walking down the line, like going back in transition. And I can see the ref screaming at him, like, not anymore. Not anymore. I'm like, hell yeah. That's such a BS. It's such a bad call. Like,
Yeah.
you up faked. Of course, he went for it. Like,
That should be an off foul.
It should be, but like, if you up fake, you lost your dribble. Like,
yeah.
If you dribble and then you up fake, that should be the end of your possession. Like, great, you got the guy out of the way, and pass it and then cut. That's what your advantage should be, not that I got him in the air, free throws, here we go. So I like it. I like the rule. But I could see the NBA being like, well, we need more ads. Our revenue's down a little bit. Let's make this rule less strict. So all right, number 3 for me, strong, very strong. We had, I'm a Celtics guy, huge Celtics guy. So this is a objective, unbiased take right here. It's the New York Knicks are going to make the NBA Finals. Yeah, I could see it. There's a possibility. I already know you're going to say overreaction, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that face is absolutely yes. Let me plead my case. So, number 1 is Tom Thibodeau. Their defense, with the guys he knows and wants to throw out there, are gonna get stops in the playoffs. What else? They have a go-to guy who's second team All NBA, who looks just as good as he was last year, who looks like he can pull up, hit a mid-range when it matters most, in Julius Randle. They have young guys who are only improving. RJ Barrett, looking like a good defender, looking like he could hit a spot up 3, looking like he has the energy to stay out there and be trusted by Tibbs. Mitchell, elite rim protector. He is the key for them because he's the guy, if he stays on the court and doesn't foul, can hinder a Giannis, can hinder an Embiid, can hinder a Clint Capella. He can make a difference in guarding those type of guys in the East. And then Quickly is a great bench guard who can provide instant offense. And then it was their summer. They picked up exactly what they needed from last year. They needed shooting, and they just needed more offense. So they got Kemba, who, worst comes to worst, he's not playing. Like, he's a sixth man or something, right? Fournier, who we saw in the FIBA games, he can score 30 in a playoff game, easy, shooting all threes, and he's an elite shooter. And then they have other guys that they trust, like Alec Burks, and there's a wing defender, can hit threes, and then Taj Gibson and Obi Toppin, another young guy who can come in and provide a spark. I think they have all the tools. If they just have a Atlanta Hawks type run, like they did last year, man, maybe they get a hurt Nets team in the conference finals, or they get a hurt Heat team without Jimmy Butler or something. The cards have to go their way, of course, but I think it's possible they can make the finals. That's my case. Did I shift your perspective at all?
No. No.
Oh, man.
I love Julius Randle. Like, he was like my MVP candidate last year.
Okay, he's the same guy, but like,
yeah,
the other pieces, what do you think?
So I'm gonna go step by step. You're talking about Mitchell Robinson is an important part of the team. He barely played for the past however many seasons because he's always getting hurt. He's always getting hurt. I know he's a great player. That's if he stays healthy. And that's been really, really difficult for him. And I feel like Kemba, as you said, like, defensive liability. Like, I'm just comparing to like some of the like East Coast like Eastern Final guards that like they might face, like Lonzo Ball. It's like big guard.
D Rose. That's why there's D Rose, man.
I know D Rose. Yeah, and then we saw last year in the playoffs. It's like D Rose was like one of the more efficient spot that. And Julius Randle was like really inefficient. RJ was inexistent. Mitchell was hurt. And then I think I like the Fournier part about the Knicks. It's like they have more weapon. They can like stretch out the floor more. But we're talking about going to the finals, right? Going to the finals.
It's an overreaction, man. That's all,
definitely overreaction. Like, I don't know how are they going to match up with the Bucks. How are they going to beat the Bucks? Like, if they're healthy, who's going to guard KD if they ever like face each other? Like, are you going to? It's really
no one can guard KD. Nobody.
And you got. I don't know. I just feel like they're kind of still a little bit away from making the finals. So
yeah. Okay. So you say absolutely overreaction.
Absolutely.
Understood. So, all right, finish it off. What's your last one?
My last one is Miles Bridges. Is he the most improved player after a couple of weeks? So, some stat to throw at you. Last year, he was averaging 12.7 points, 6 rebounds. And this season, for the past couple of weeks, as I didn't expect this at all. He's the last person I would have thought that would do this. But right now, he's averaging 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.8 steals, shooting 48% from the field and 37% from three. And now he's shooting 18 times a game. And last year, he was shooting 9 times a game. So, and then I think a couple of weeks ago, Hornets did offer him a 4-year, $60 million contract, which looks pretty stupid by now. But what do you think? You think the Miles Bridges thing will be consistent, or do you think it's just a spark?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Hornets, and they're a great league pass team in terms of LaMelo is fun. Um, Miles Bridges is fun, and I think it's legit. I think it's legit. Like he is. It's always for him. It's always been the shooting. It's always been the shooting, and it's like, yeah, he's hot. He's gotten hot these last couple weeks, but he's not just hitting spot up threes. Like he's hitting these like off the dribble, sidestep, let me create something into a three. Like, wow, that is some improvement. And once he's able to do that, the defense has to respect him. And then I see him shifting guys to get to the rim. I'm like, yo, if he can get someone to respect his shot and then he's able to get to the rim, it's over. Like he's in the top 0.001% of athletes in the NBA. So man, I think it's legit. I think most improved is very possible. Like all these things we've been talking about, we got to see it with time. We could go a week and we could completely change our opinions on these things if he has a couple goose eggs here and there. But man, watching him play, he looks like the most improved player in the NBA. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the Hornets, are they gonna make it to the final? No, I'm just kidding.
All right, that's a great place to end it. All right, Mikey, appreciate it. We'll definitely keep this going
Yep.
more frequently with the NBA season started. So, all right, man, appreciate you.